Hi Turnbull School. So today's Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. I thought it would be kind of a nice idea to go outside and show you some of the trees that are in our property line. I know we talked to you a little bit about making maple syrup, and now obviously, as everybody would know, you use maple trees for that, sugar maples specifically. I thought it would be kind of interesting for some of you to learn some of the characteristics of some of our trees that are native to Eastern Ontario, including the white birch tree that you can see I'm leaning up against right here. On a side note, these two big fellas right here are ash trees. And a few years ago, we had a beetle, the emerald ash borer, actually come to Eastern Ontario and become an invasive species that eats ash trees. And we are sadly losing a number of our ash trees in the region. One of the reasons why it's important that we celebrate Earth Day to remember to take care of things that are in our planet. So this is an example of an eastern cedar tree. You would notice it in the city. It's not uncommon that it would be used for hedges between properties and parks. Another thing. Alright, so the tree to my right behind me, is what's called an eastern white pine tree. White pine. The tree here to my left is a red pine. You'll notice some of the differences between the two trees. You'll notice the needles on the pine trees are long and pointy. Okay, so the needles on the pine trees are one of the distinguishing features. The white pine has smaller needles, soft needles, and what's interesting is that they generally come in clumps of 5. So a nice easy way to remember the white pine tree is there are 5, just like there are 5 letters in the word white. The red pine tree has fewer needles in each one of its little sections, typically between 2 or 3, and they are coarser, and in this case, a little longer as well. A very distinctive tree here in Eastern Ontario is the oak tree. And there are typically 2 types of oak trees. There are red oak and there are white oak trees. The red oak typically grow a little bit quicker. This is a red oak tree. White oak trees, you can distinguish those by their leaves as well. The white oak have rounded lobes, whereas the red oak have pointy leaves, to give you a better idea of which is which. The last tree I'm going to show you today is a spruce tree, a white spruce tree that is also very common here in Eastern Ontario. One of the things that you'll notice about these trees is that their needles are much shorter than the pine trees. In addition, they're sharper, so you can definitely feel them when you're walking by too closely. Pine trees, typically a lot softer. These ones are shorter and pointier. And this is an example of a white spruce tree. Beside it here, again, short pointy needles. Growing a little bit quicker is a Norway spruce tree. 2 different types of spruce trees here